You know, when we began sort of the exploration and our participation in Women in Construction Week, which is a week that NAWIC established, the National Association for Women in Construction, to really celebrate and bring women to the forefront. We started not only looking at how do we celebrate women, how do we acknowledge their contribution, but how do we continue to support them within the construction industry and help them get to higher levels of management.
You know, I was brought up in a time in the field that there was very, very few women in the field. And there was a lot of things that were different back then on how construction was. But I think of the women that were in the apprenticeship class with me in the early 80s, and they're still in the industry, tremendous contributors and leaders, just such great leaders in the electrical business.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, Mike, because you and I have known each other, we're probably going on like year 22. And I actually started in the field working with tools and then worked my way up through management. And I can remember a lot of times being the only. There's so many people just in general, but women in particular, who don't realize that construction's an option. What we're also realizing, especially through the last couple of years, Mike, where everyone's life sort of got upended, right? We started recognizing that the same challenges women are struggling with when it comes to being able to participate in this industry are the same struggles men are struggling with. And you think about mental health, that affected the entire population through this period. And I think when we start realizing that it's just human beings that need these support mechanisms, it becomes healthier for all of us. And that's a lot where the discussion around equity comes in. For a long time, we've all been taught, treat everyone equally, which means fairly. But equity says, not only am I going to treat you fairly, but I'm going to address you as a human being. I'm going to look at what does support for you look like.
And it's not that you have to change who you are. It's about you have to listen and understand, and it's the worldviews of the people that you're working with and around. Do you think this shift in the world is going to accelerate the ability for women to enter our construction industry and grow in it?
So I think that leans itself back towards having conversations as managers and leaders and engaging with our staff, right? And recognizing that, women and men both need both coaches and mentors, and they need sponsors, people who are going to mention them when they're not in the room, who are going to say, who would be really good at that opportunity? So-and-so, and to speak their name into that. We've got a lot of people, Mike, in this organization doing the work, and so when I think about, how can we call the industry to help us, how can we call our employees to help us, we have a lot of employees who are engaged on this vision.
That's what it's all about, opportunity, support, mentorship, and growth. It doesn't matter who you are, we're all humans.
That's right.
And we just need an opportunity and the support to grow.